Hey, hola, oi, moshi moshi, annyeong, aloha, assalamu alaikum, you guys. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Eric Williams, and by the title of today's video, we're gonna get into, we're just gonna get into a few of these languages that I'm talking. If you notice any of them, yep, those are some of them that I'm learning. Let's go and sit down. Here's my chair right there. Let's sit down, because if you guys saw the setup in terms of how I have you guys propped on these boxes, this is not even a tripod. Yeah, let's sit down. All right, to start us off, let's begin with the languages that I know, and we'll then talk about the languages that I'm learning and give the different levels I feel as if I am on. Why am I out of breath? First, we have English. English, I am a native speaker. I'm from the United States. Fun fact though, the United States actually does not have an official language for the entire country, but a few of the states within the United States do use English as the official language, or not use. I believe everywhere in the United States, of course, uses English. But in terms of what's in, I guess, whatever laws or things, the official language is English in only a few states and not the entire country. Fun fact, Wikipedia, look it up. So the next one is Spanish, español. Con español, pues es un idioma aprendí hace muchos años. Entonces, no lo sé. Estoy muy cómodo cuando yo hablo español con fluidez. Obviamente, español no es mi primer idioma, es mi segundo. Entonces, no sé. Además, no soy latino o afro-latino o algo así. Es solo que aprendí español en mi escuela cuando era muy joven. Y ya. Español es como así. But also a thing that I want to note with Spanish, on italki it said that I was a C1 level, maybe. Maybe that means like a confident speaker. But of course, I'm not native, and I wouldn't even call myself really bilingual fully, because Spanish I don't use that much. I think on LinkedIn I have limited working proficiency. Now let's get into the languages that I plan on learning in 2023. So we have 5, so let's go through them. So starting off, we have Portuguese, specifically Brazilian Portuguese, because I love the way that Brazilian Portuguese sounds. I love so many things about Brazilian culture as well. So Brazilian Portuguese, I want to say, if we talk about out of a 5-point system or 5-dot system in terms of how I did on my iPad, and I actually got this inspiration in terms of creating this language learning plan from Lindy Boat's video. So if you guys want to check that out, I'll leave it in the description below. I haven't studied Portuguese as much as Spanish, but if you guys don't know, Portuguese has like roughly an 80% similarity with Spanish, so it's not that hard to pick up with Portuguese once you know, for example, another romantic language, for example, Spanish. So with Portuguese, I wrote down 3 out of 5 dots I feel is my level with Portuguese. This is only because of that really close relation with Spanish. If I didn't have Spanish, then I probably have it like a 1 or 2. But sim, eu posso falar português, mas meu português é muito mal. Então, preciso que praticar. Praticar. Ay, meu Deus. So Portuguese, I'll give it a 3 out of 5. Also, going back to Spanish, even though I'm not learning Spanish, I said that I got a C1 from doing an italki quiz, and I have 4 out of 5 dots for now for Spanish, because I don't think it's out of 5. Like, I'm not, fluent in Spanish, but I do feel comfortable when I speak it. But there's a lot of things I do need to learn with Spanish. So 4 out of 5 for Spanish, 3 out of 5 for Portuguese. The next language we have is Japanese. Japanese is a language that I think I've been learning for a long time, but very much so passively and getting in a lot of resources. But I'll say that the current level for this language, for Japanese, is a 2 out of 5. Korean, I say it's like a 1.5 out of 5. It's really low, but honestly, learning Jap, similar to the Portuguese, I'm using Spanish to help me, but learning Korean, for example, I'm learning Japanese as well, so I'm using those to kind of help me. But I'm not learning them at the same time, because I realized it was a bit of a headache, similar to when I was trying to learn Spanish and Portuguese and French at a time in high school. That was just not it. The last 2 languages are Hawaiian and Arabic. With Hawaiian, I'm giving a 1 out of 5 dots, and then Arabic a 0.5, not even 1 full dot out of 5, because this is a new language that I'm picking up within, I believe, last month, December 2022. So yes, these are the current languages that I am learning or that I know. we'll actually kick out Spanish and say that Portuguese, Japanese, Korean, Hawaiian, and Arabic are the 5 languages that I plan to learn. So let's head over to my iPad so we can talk about my goals. Although I don't really want to call them goals, I want to actually call them things that I actually plan on doing in order to working towards a language. I guess you could say that's a goal, but there's so much emphasis and pressures on goals, especially in the beginning of the year. So yeah, let's move over to my iPad and talk a little bit about what I want to do for each of the languages that I plan on learning in 2023. Here you guys can see that I have 4 out of the 5 that I'm learning. Okay, there definitely is 6 languages on here, but bear with me because Spanish is, a language that of course I'm still learning, but I'm doing this more so passively instead of actively. But I will still be learning them. It's only one language. I will be learning Spanish still throughout this year, and we'll figure out a way how to do that that's not as intensive. That's the word I was looking for earlier. As intensive as the other languages on here. So starting off with Portuguese, one of my target languages. Some, I guess you could say, goals. We're going to use that to make it as simple as possible for this video, even though goals are so hard to come by. So Portuguese, visit a Portuguese speaking country, hopefully within this year. If not, 2024 for sure. Visit a Portuguese speaking country in Brazil. I got my eyes on Brazil. Complete Duolingo Portuguese. I'm pretty far, and I guess you could say the Duolingo on Portuguese. However, I do have to review it again. Here I have Do the Caderno de Português, but I literally just found this PDF on my laptop, hiding away, collecting dust, although it is a file, so it's not really collecting dust, it's just taking up memory on my laptop, and I just put it in Good Notes underneath my Portuguese folder for languages, but who knows? I said I'm going to do 5 lessons, but I want to be realistic. That's why I don't want to call these things goals. But yes, so that's the thing. But the main priorities is actually what I want to say is visit a Portuguese speaking country, complete Duolingo Portuguese in Tudo fim. Is that a thing? I don't know, but yeah. All right, so next is Japanese. I have a lot of priorities or goals for this one is because Japanese is a language that I have been learning off and on for, I want to say 4 years, but I really picked it up in 2020 along with Portuguese, where I was making some videos here and there on my channel. But looking back on Eric doing Portuguese and Japanese content, whether that be here on TikTok. By the way, I mentioned in my last video that I did make videos in language learning on TikTok. However, some things are probably privated, so there's that. For Japanese, these are my goals / priorities. To do more lessons in Genki textbook that I have a PDF on my iPad. I said 10. However, that may be a little too much, and I'm just honestly aiming really high, so I may just do honestly 3 to 4 lessons. Learn 1,000 common kanji words. I really do believe I can do this. And honestly, if you guys want to see a video on me doing this, then please comment down below. Okay, so the next one is complete Duolingo Japanese. I really do not think that this one should be on here simply because there's so much to the Duolingo Japanese. And I know that nowadays they have the new update on the app where there's different units. And I actually have a better goal on my phone notes app where I want to just complete a certain unit by, I think, May 2023 or June 2023. So that's a more realistic goal, to be honest, because I don't think I can complete the whole Duolingo Japanese within this year, but who knows? If I push myself, maybe. And then the GLPT and 5, I really want to be at this level by the end of the year. Not in 4, because I think it may take me a little bit longer to try to get to N4, but N5 for sure. I don't know if I want to take the exam for it, but I definitely want to just learn as much as I can. And here as well, I wrote some resources for Japanese. I should have wrote more resources for the different languages, but Japanese is definitely an intensive learning language. It's my top target language as well, so yes. Korean, there's really simple goals / priorities. So to complete Duolingo in Korean, I think this is definitely possible. There's not as many units or lessons in Korean as there is as Japanese or even Spanish. To watch more series on Netflix or those different streaming services with Korean subtitles only, because of course I watch them in English subtitles, whether that be Japanese, Korean. I was going to even say Portuguese, but I have gotten a little bit comfortable with watching some Netflix series or movies or just anything in Portuguese subtitles, just so I understand what's going on, because the listening isn't all the way there. My last target language that I'm really focusing on in 2023 is Arabic. I want to learn all the letters in the Arabic writing system, whether that's letters or characters, I'm not really sure, or just the alphabet. I'm currently doing this right now. I'm really taking baby steps. That's why, as I said, for the level, I'm at a 0.5 because I really just picked up Arabic. I really got interested in Arabic recently because I actually watched some Netflix series called the Al-Warabi School for Girls. It was really good, based in Jordan, and I think that Arabic is a really beautiful language. I believe it's a very difficult language as well, coming from an English speaker, because seeing the script is just whoa. But, you know, anyone can say the same thing going from their native tongue to English, for example. So, yeah, Arabic is the last target language that I'm going to really focus on in 2023. All right, so to jump over Spanish, because this is a language that I can speak, I'm not actively learning it through this year. I do have it later on in my timeline, as we'll see in this video, but I am not really learning it as much as the other languages that are part of my plan within 2023. That's why it's only 5. Well, only 5. That's a lot. So Hawaiian, I want to listen to more Hawaiian Pacific Islander music. I will say with Hawaiian is a really interesting language in terms of how I found out more about it and wanted to hear it and learn it. Duolingo actually offers a course on Hawaiian, and I think it's honestly beautiful. There's not a lot of language resources out there for Hawaiian, but I am building them up as I go. And fun fact, Hawaiian is actually an endangered language. So I really want to, for example, if I ever do visit Hawaii one day, or Hawaii, I would like to, of course, pay respect to the people by speaking their language, learning more about the culture, and really having this sort of immersion where I'm not honestly just going as a tourist or just someone vacationing and, you know, doing whatever leisure there. I really want to, of course, volunteer and be an advocate for the Hawaiian people by honestly learning about their culture and experiencing their culture. Also, a thing to note is I was born in Hawaii as well. I'm not Hawaiian natively, however, I was born there, and I feel like I do have some sort of connection there, even though I've never really visited there in my older age or ever. I was only born there and then just left. So yeah, I really want to visit Hawaii one day. I want to learn more about the culture, and I can start by learning about the language, especially since it's endangered. So yeah, Hawaiian definitely has a little place in my heart, and I think it will be honestly an interesting language to get into. All right, so that's it for the goals and I guess priorities part of the languages that I'm learning in 2023. Now let's get an idea of a timeline in terms of how I plan on learning these languages, because 5 languages is kind of a lot to just say that this is what you plan on learning, especially when you have other priorities and other things in life that are going on. It's definitely not realistic to just be like, yeah, I definitely want to learn Japanese. I want to learn Arabic within this year. However, you may have a job, you may have family, you may have things to do with family, or just things to do in life. Things may come up. You have to kind of have some sort of a plan or some sort of timeline, especially when you're thinking about these goals or wanting to achieve some of these things like on your list. So for the timelines, a lot of people in the language learning community like to break up the languages that they're learning, especially if it's more than 1 or 2 languages, in a quarter system. This is really similar to, for example, if you took a class at a university or even in school, if you had quarters. This would probably be the most effective way in terms of learning more than 1 language. We have 4 quarters to kind of break up the year. So 3 months, of course, within each quarter. So as you can see, for quarter 1, January, February, March. So in January, I'm going to have Japanese, Portuguese, and Arabic. We're in January, of course, right now. I've really been putting a lot of emphasis on Japanese. And then also I've been learning the characters of Arabic continuously. Portuguese, I'm off and on in terms of learning it, but we're doing a lot of Duolingo practice, so that's amazing. So in February, Japanese, Portuguese, and Arabic again. We want to, of course, have this trend where I'm going to go over languages that I've already learned, because I really want to hone in on the skills that I'm learning and also make sure that I have a bit of retention. March, Japanese, Hawaiian, and Spanish. Moving on to quarter two, we see that April, Korean, Japanese, and Spanish. So Korean and Japanese is similar, however, the writing system is not similar at all. But a lot of the characters that they use do derive from Chinese, or yeah, I guess you could say Chinese characters. I'm not sure if they're Mandarin characters, but I know they're Chinese types. So in Japanese, you have the kanji, and then the Korean, you have the hanja. I believe it wouldn't be this hard to mix the two. And then, of course, since from quarter one, January through March, I would have been exhausted with learning a lot of Japanese, especially if I want to do 1,000 kanji words. Yeah. Korean is probably going to be a big of my focus in quarter two. So May, we have Korean, Japanese, and Spanish. In June, we have Korean, Portuguese, and Arabic. Especially in June, there's no overlap whatsoever in terms of similarity of language. So for quarter three, we have Portuguese, Japanese, Hawaiian for August, and for July and August. And then for September, we have Portuguese, Korean, and Arabic. For quarter four, we have Japanese, Korean, Arabic for October, November, and December. So we can see that, of course, for the entire timeline, Japanese and Korean and Portuguese and Arabic, as I said from the last page, are my target languages. These are the languages that I will spend the most time on, especially with Portuguese and Japanese, because I've been learning them passively, actively for such a long time. And I really want to say 2020 for both of those. So it's been 3 years in the making that I've been really learning the skills for Japanese and for Portuguese. I'm just honestly really focusing on those 4 languages at least. Korean, I really do need to improve so much, is because I will say Hangul for Korean is really easy to learn. You can learn that within a week. Similar to Hana, the hiragana, katakana for Japanese, it doesn't take that long to learn that. I will say 1 to 2 weeks tops, because you can really get confused with those. And I'd say, of course, continuously review, revise these letters or characters within both of those alphabets. That's why I think Duolingo is such a good tool. By the way, not sponsored, but Duolingo is a really good tool because you get to review and practice those languages so many times. I would also say, for example, if you want to practice your writing for these languages, especially when you have heavy script languages similar to Japanese, Korean, Arabic, or even Mandarin Chinese, these languages you definitely want to practice with writing so you can get a feel for them. I already have in my notes for Japanese and Korean and Arabic, actually, where I'm practicing writing the scripts, getting familiarized with them. Of course, listening to things as well is important, and seeing them. So that's honestly the way that we're going into 2023 for language learning. Let's talk about a recap of today's video. So the current languages that I'm learning are Portuguese, Japanese, Korean, Hawaiian, and Arabic. As I mentioned earlier, my levels for these: Portuguese, 3 out of 5. Where I want to be at the end of 2023 is a 4 out of 5. And also, it's one of my target languages. Japanese, I'm currently at a 2 out of 5. Preferably, I would like to be at a 3 out of 5 by the end of this year. And another target language, Korean, currently at a 2, or actually, I think I said 1.5 out of 5. And I want to be at a 3 out of 5, so not too far from Japanese. I want to be neck and neck, but of course, I'll probably have a lot of priority towards Japanese because this is a language that I'm more comfortable in terms of listening and maybe a bit of speaking. And then Hawaiian, which is not a target language, I want to be a 2 out of 5 for this because for the current level, I'm at a 1 out of 5. And in Arabic, I want to be a full 1 out of 5. I really want to master the characters, the alphabets for the Arabic writing system. All right, so that is pretty much it for this video. I want to wrap up right here and not make this video too long. I want to thank you guys so much for watching and sticking to the end. If you guys want to see more videos similar to this one, especially where I talk about all the languages that I'm learning based on the quarter system, or if you guys want to see a video about the resources that I use for a particular language. For Japanese, I have a lot of resources that I'm using. Hawaiian, I'm currently building up a lot of the resources. Korean and Portuguese, I have no resources. Similar to Arabic. Arabic, my main focus, of course, is just making sure that I master the writing system in terms of understanding all the characters that there are in the Arabic writing system. I'll probably be doing a lot of videos coming soon in terms of language learning content, but more so in an entertainment type style. I don't want to be too educational on this channel. I want to have a very much so fun approach, similar to how I did the speed running Duolingo in a random language. So you guys should check that out, honestly, either up here or over there. That video was honestly very fun, and you guys seem to enjoy it as well. So that is pretty much it. I don't want to drag this video out too much longer. Thank you guys. Gracias, obrigado, arigatou gozaimasu, kamsahamnida, mahalo, merhaban. I actually don't know. Shukran is Arabic. Thank you guys once again, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Peace.